Roger Twybo and Seamus Mallon back with you as they're finishing up the national anthem of El Salvador. Trooper Dan Clark of the Massachusetts State Police singing the
now,
national
ladies and gentlemen,
anthem.
The national anthem of the United States of America. By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red gleam, love and bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
So, Trooper Dan Clark with the national anthem. The United States and El Salvador, their last four meetings. Seamus, the U.S. 3 wins and a draw. Let's take a look at the lineups today.
Well, the U.S., as you mentioned, going with Brad Friedel in goal, and there you see that he does have a yellow card. But also the man to watch is this man, Thomas Dooley, who has been playing a lot in midfield of late for the United States, but he's in the back four and maybe a man marker tonight. Now, the midfield also has some very talented players. You recognize John Harkes. And again, you see two yellow cards here on Henderson and Vásquez, but Preki, very much the man we'll all be hoping does well in this match for the U.S. today. And El Salvador, well, one of the big question marks about El Salvador is this man, the goalkeeper, number 22, Raúl García. Raúl García is very good on his line, but a bit suspect as he comes off the line, so we'll watch him dealing with those crosses. But in midfield, the man that everybody thinks about for El Salvador is Mauricio Cienfuegos, and he plays for the LA Galaxy, and everything goes through him in LA and in San Salvador. He is definitely the one to watch, the danger man for the USA.
The United States has never lost to El Salvador at home, and we'll be back with the start of the game in a moment.
And 2 sodas, $18.
Weather-wise, it's no Boston Tea Party here at Foxborough Stadium. There was snow yesterday, and one of the conditions that the players will have to deal with, there was a snowplow on the field yesterday, making the field quite uneven. You're going to see some bad hops. However, the moisture situation, not a problem. The footing should be good enough for the players. Back up to you, Roger.
All right, Ty, thank you. We'll look forward to your comments. Milovan Djuric, the head coach of El Salvador. He must be on the hot seat, Seamus.
Well, he's been in it all year, but he's managed to get these players now to believe in themselves a little bit. And he also managed to find some players who could be presented for citizenship of El Salvador, even though they might have been Brazilian or Yugoslavian. So
one name we didn't see in the starting lineup, Raul Diaz Arce.
That's right. That's a bit of a surprise. He was expected to play by a lot of people, but he did not make the start. And part of the reason is that the coach is not really happy with the way he played in the match against Jamaica, which was a 2-2 tie.
And we at ABC Sports would like to thank Budweiser, Canon, Nike, MasterCard, and National Car Rental for allowing us to bring you today's game without interruption. El Salvador in the blue, the United States in the white, as Harkes sends it back to Dooley. Many of the U.S. players wearing gloves, Thomas Dooley not one of them. Angus sends it down the far side. In the middle, tipped around Cienfuegos. He'll touch it many, many times today. Number 10 with the ball there. Sending it on downfield. DeMello. As we've had a couple of number changes. In the middle, number 12, Cienfuegos. Taken away by the United States. Chris Henderson trying to run onto the ball. And sent down the wing as Henderson gives chase. Back there quickly, though, was Vićević.
Well, El Salvador got out of that trap nicely, but they give it up in midfield. We saw the early pressure, though, near the penalty area for the U.S.
This portion of today's game is brought to you by Budweiser. There's the U.S. captain, John Harkes. Of course, of DC United. Captains that team also. Here's a steal in the midfield. A ball was taken there by Cienfuegos, who tried to set it down, but Dooley did a nice job to intercept it.
Excellent job by Dooley. Seeing Vermes in trouble, he went behind him.
McBride trying to run onto it, can't come away with it. Once again, as you mentioned at the top, everything goes through Cienfuegos.
And even the random clearances seem to find him.
Sun trying to break through here in Foxborough. Ball stolen by Kobe Jones. Pass intended there for Renderos. Now back to the midfield. Rodríguez had it.
Well, that was Precky's first touch, Roger. He tried to beat someone in the center circle and was dispossessed.
Now over to Caligiuri. Boy, what an amazing story. Paul Caligiuri, who got the winning goal in '89 to send the United States to Italy. Can he come back and be a factor on this U.S. team? Caligiuri has not seen a lot of action, Seamus, in the past year or so.
No, he hasn't, and he had a lot of trouble getting settled in the Major League Soccer, but he is settled now in L.A., where is of course, his home. Here's a good chance there for the U.S. to put some pressure at the back here. Let's see if they get some players up like Dooley for a header.
As Kobe Jones sends it into the area, McBride off the top and over the goal.
Well, McBride will be the target for a lot of those players, not necessarily for headers on goal, but to put a ball down in front for another player to get a shot.
McBride 6'1", 170, very athletic though, can really leap.
I'm a big fan of Brian McBride. I think he's got a terrific international future in front of him.
Well, and that's one of the things you have to ask about the U.S. is Jones tries to send it to Henderson and the ball stolen away. What are they going to do up front in 1998? Henderson giving chase. Cannot come up with it. Now the United States back with the possession. But a dangerous situation right there. And the ball sent across the end line. Dangerous situation right there as Castro, Israel Castro, he is the man that's starting the place of Diaz Arce.
Yeah, and a lot of the problem is Martin Vásquez is very nervous early on. He lost 2 balls now on very easy touches, taking a little time to settle down.
And why would he be so nervous, Seamus?
Well, this is a huge game for Martin Vásquez, playing a defensive midfield position for the U.S. He's played a lot in Mexico, but he wants to make the U.S. team and go to the big show.
9 years in Mexico, plays with Tampa Bay. Now here comes El Salvador. That's Castro trying to send it to the far side and tackled away and nicely done there.
Peter Vermes in with that great tackle when he saw the opening, and now here comes Peter Vermes forward.
Vermes is one of those players who didn't make the team in '94. Will this be his last chance?
Oh, I think there's not much question about that, but he's had a very good season for Colorado. Now there is Martin Vásquez, who, as I said, looked very, very nervous. Has lost a couple of very easy touches, but he's a good, skillful player. And then maybe this bumpy field that Ty talked about is throwing him off a little bit because he's looked a little unsteady.
After the foul call against John Harkes.
Let's see if they can find McBride a second time over there.
Kobe Jones swinging it. Dooley off the head.
Oh, great run by Tom Dooley, because the space opened up for him there, and they were all worried about McBride. As you take a look at it here, you'll see him run into the space in there. That's where the danger is. And his man is not able to get much of a challenge on him.
Henderson almost came away with it. Cienfuegos, nice little back pass. Well, he can create so many things. Castro with a nice move. Cienfuegos. Henderson's on him. He'll move to the far side. Bad ball there and off the head of Agus. Agus touches it ahead to McBride. Now McBride will come to the near side with it.
It's Preki.
Yep, Preki 14. 3 men on him, he can't get through. Cerritos is 11. Trying to find number 10 in the middle. To no avail. Off the head, and Friedel comes up with it. That was Ronald Cerritos.
Good move by Cerritos. And you know, the other problem for Martin Vásquez, as I think about it, Roger, is he is supposed to be watching out for Cienfuegos. He's supposed to be trying to track him down. That's a very tough responsibility. Here is Martin Vásquez now.
A cold, blustery wind here.
Long ball from Dooley down to Henderson. Chipping it in front and cleared away. And let's check in with Taikio.
Snowflakes starting to fall here at Foxborough, and I would have to think that for many of the El Salvador players, they've never seen snow fall before. So a real shocker for them. That was the original plan for the United States in case this game really counted towards qualifications to bring El Salvador into difficult conditions, and we've got them here, and the wind is going to create havoc for the goalkeepers.
On the corner kick for the U.S. Cleared out by García. Still alive. Henderson brings it down. The United States with a lot of pressure so far and a couple very good chances. Preki with the left foot, headed back out of the area, and Cienfuegos sets it up.
Well, what the U.S. needs to do a little bit better, though, Roger, is really improve the quality of that cross in. As we look at Caligiuri trotting back. Caligiuri doing a good job so far down the right side, but the cross into the penalty area from the flow of play has got to be more accurate.
Renderos, number 7, trying to throw it in. And now the referee coming over to the sideline.
I think Colina is letting Joric know that he can't wander, perhaps, or maybe to watch his language.
And once again, Renderos will come over to throw it in. The ball off the U.S. 38 degrees here in Foxborough. Sent to the middle, but cleared out by Vermes. Controlled by El Salvador for the moment. Dooley, I'll tell you, he's been reborn. He has played so well down the stretch for the United States when they needed him most. He really came through. Ball tackled away. McBride gets it. Henderson trying to run it down across the far side touchline and get it caught up on the world of soccer. Go around the world with Worldwide Soccer Mondays on ESPN2. Henderson's had a lot of touches so far and a whistle. Foul against El Salvador. 17, Rodríguez was the guilty party. Caligiuri getting it up. Now he'll try to center the ball. Vásquez couldn't run onto it.
This is better by Vásquez now. Good crunching tackle.
Preki trying to run onto the ball. It's taken away.
That was Vićević with a very nice interception and a good first touch to start the counterattack.
Agus comes back. And the man down for El Salvador, Vermes, who's right there with him, is number 18, De Mello.
Well, De Mello certainly had contact back there with Peter Vermes, but Dooley once again had covered up behind him, so that foul really wasn't necessary.
Free kick now. U.S. getting the wall set.
This has got to be Cienfuegos.
Touches it to the middle. The shot taken over the top by Renderos. And this portion of today's game is brought to you by Canon. Brad Friedel showing a lot of spunk today, not wearing long pants. His counterpart on the other side, Raul Garcia, certainly does.
That's offside there for El Salvador. U.S. is having a brisk start to this game, and they've looked pretty good at patches, but you see how much the ball seems to be leaping off that surface. I think there's more problems there than we thought.
Henderson with yet another touch. He has a yellow card, but felt it was so important that he play in this game to prove to Steve Sampson that he was worthy of being on the World Cup team. He was a late cut in '94.
Yes, indeed, a heartbreak for him. And of course, he went to 90. He was in the World Cup in 1990, but never played a minute for the U.S. in Italy, and was the youngest player in the entire tournament for any team.
So many of these U.S. players trying to make an impression. As now with the steal, the U.S. comes up with a Preki, loses it. Steve Sampson told me last night this would be a difficult game for Preki today. Why is that, Seamus? As a goal scorer in the conditions and such today.
Yeah, I mean, he's. It is going to be difficult for him because they know him well enough, I think, in El Salvador because of all the players from the MLS who are on El Salvador, and they certainly know his style. And they can send extra players to the ball and frustrate him.
Renderos sends it to the middle. 3 U.S. players are there. Rodríguez lets it go to the far side. Oh, unfortunate situation there. Cienfuegos got trapped on top of the ball and slipped.
Yeah, the one problem that the U.S. is having a little bit is kind of sort of an excess of speed in the wrong time. They're hungry to go forward fast, but you need to slow it down a little bit and have a little bit more possession instead of just quite the helter-skelter pace it's at.
Nice job by Harkes in the left back. Harkes.
This is better by Harkes.
Yeah, Dooley now to the near side. Dooley, number 6, of course. Ty?
Seamus, what you're talking about is pretty obvious that these 11 players for the United States have never played together as a unit, and they are a bit disjointed. It's going to take them a few minutes, perhaps, to settle into a rhythm of play.
And of course, their enthusiasm and urge to shine and do well sometimes can work against them. You need to be a little bit more composed and wait for the opportunities to open up a bit.
ABC Sports World Cup coverage is online. Follow the U.S. national team to France for the 1998 World Cup. All on America Online, keyword ABC Sports. Kobe Jones with Preki in front of him. Kobe said he would definitely be wearing gloves today. Native of Southern California, offside.
Very definitely offside, but you saw all the El Salvadoran players who came over there.
The referee used to play on the Addams Family. Is it?
You look at this offside here, but look in here. You see all these players from El Salvador collapsing on the ball here, and yet there's a lot of space over in this area, and that's what the U.S. needs to do. It needs to shift the ground a little bit, get it to the far side where there's more space to play in. But that requires quickness of thought in the midfield and execution.
Henderson slow in getting up in the midfield area. Chris Henderson, who plays for the Colorado Rapids. Of course, they made a great move at the end of the year to make it to the MLS Cup.
Here comes Dooley going forward now. Not much question about that. Chopped from behind by Hernández.
McBride up in the air, and right there is Garcia. One of the points Steve Sampson made to his team last night, we need to win all the balls in the air. So far, they've done a good job of it.
Certainly have done a good job of it, you're right. And what you saw, once again, Cienfuegos being the target and surviving the first tackle.
Now Vásquez gets it over to Caligiuri. Now Vásquez slides to it, tackled away from Preki. And the foul called. 15 there, Valencia. There's Steve Sampson. Headed out by El Salvador, but Dooley traps it off his chest, flips it down. Vermes goes in the air and gets a piece of it.
A very important jump there by Vermes to win that header. There were players that had to ghost in behind him.
Dooley lost the ensuing pass, though. Onto the near side, the battle going on, and Vásquez will send it across the goal line. And a corner coming up for El Salvador. Boy, Renderos made a good run into the middle of the area.
And Kobe Jones, tracking back there, found himself on the wrong side of the player he was racing back against. You see, Kobe Jones should be on the inside there of the player. He's on the outside, and he's therefore, when he's off balance when he wins the ball and only pushes it into the area.
Renderos will take the corner. You can see the snow piled up here. Short ball, and goal kick coming up for the United States.
Wow, very good play by El Salvador, particularly by number 11, Cerritos, who stepped over the ball when it was drilled in and almost got it to a second player.
Caligiuri, one of 5 U.S. players who has an opportunity to go to their 3rd World Cup.
Seamus, some of the danger out of El Salvador's attack coming out of their midfielders who should be very familiar to American soccer fans. They play in the Major League Soccer, and that's Cienfuegos, their captain, and also Cerritos, who you just mentioned, who was the top scorer for the San Jose Clash.
Now that ball Harkes was trying to send across the field hit the referee, and it was slowed down enough that El Salvador could run onto it. As Caligiuri will send it down the near side. A lot of contact there between McBride and number 20, Sanabria of El Salvador. Oh, tackled away beautifully by Preki. Now Henderson runs onto it. And sliding tackle there by Sanabria.
And Cienfuegos whacks Preki on the way back, but now they shake hands and all is forgiven. Of course, big game MLS opponents normally.
Preki, the leading goal scorer in MLS. And taken off the ball as Cienfuegos came up with it. Now Cerritos down the middle with some space, but Harkes does a nice job to get a foot on it. And now McBride takes it. And the United States has got an opportunity. Kobe Jones. Henderson. Oh, what a beautiful play defensively by El Salvador.
Terrific play by the United States, though, spreading the ball wide, away from where the pressure was, away from where the players was. But look at this great pass. It's going to go right through the defense in here. Terrific ball played in there by Harkes, and then almost tucked away by Henderson.
Looked like Jorge Rodríguez was the man.
Yeah, but the ball came from the left side of the field where the traffic was into the open space on the right. That's what they need to do more of.
Swerving corner kick. Dooley! Just over the top. He's had 2 outstanding opportunities.
Well, Dooley, incredibly unmarked, criminally unmarked, as they would say. Look at it, this ball coming up. Nobody stays with Dooley. He's got to jump a little bit higher. He needed maybe one more step backwards.
Did Harkes deliver that beautifully from the corner?
Terrific ball from John Harkes. Excellent play, and of course Dooley knows that with that open header, it should have been on target.
Valencia 15 has it knocked away by Preki, but it'll be a throw in for El Salvador. And in the other game in the CONCACAF region, no score between Jamaica and Mexico. And of course, El Salvador needs a victory over the United States, and Mexico needs to beat Jamaica, and that would send El Salvador to World Cup '98. Sanabria, number 20, 15 is Valencia. That looks like El Salvador just trying to gather themselves after the last couple of rushes by the United States.
And this is what they like to do. This is the way they play well, was until you put pressure on them, and that's where the pressure worked.
A quick start up there is Preki now. Will send the left foot. Oh, the save!
Great, that was the absolute vintage Preki. He loves to fake to the right outside, and he used Kobe Jones as a decoy as well, and then cut inside and unleash that left-footed shot. Now take a look what he does here. Look at this space in here, because that's where Kobe Jones is going to go. But he opens up a shot for himself and almost finds the corner.
And on the corner kick, Raul Garcia, who made the save, comes out and gathers that in. So the United States has had 4 very good scoring opportunities so far in this game.
That's right, and a lot of it has come from 2 things they wanted to do, and that's put pressure on the back and switch play from one side to the other quickly.
U.S. with the throw-in. Preki will get it to Caligiuri. Caligiuri number 20. There's Preki 14. And Chris Henderson with the left foot right in front. Gathered by McBride. Score! USA!
This is the teamwork we've been talking about. A set piece, but look at Henderson make the run in here, and look at how well he receives the ball. Looked like he might have lost it, but he touches away. He's not closed down. Now here comes McBride. There's the touch. This is the instinctive goal scorer. A man on him, he knows where the goal is, and he gets that little sort of half shot, not the full powerful shot, and those are the shots that often go in for the goal scorers.
Seamus, the patience he showed to bring it down, to set it there, gather himself, and then send it.
And Henderson deserves a lot of credit. He's a left-sided player. He came all the way over to the right side, received the ball awkwardly because he had to run through the box, but then he did such a good crossing pass for McBride with it.
And here comes the U.S. again, Preki. Back to Kobe. Harkes will send it over on the far side. Agus runs it down, and that's one of the things that Steve Sampson wanted to do, was overlap some of his backs today.
Yeah, and Goose, of course, wants to have a very good game today. Just got hammered with an elbow there.
Well, and it was an elbow from Agus of Mexico that got him the red card, that put the U.S. in a 10-man situation, and where they got that golden point, their first point ever in Mexico City.
Well, you see the challenge coming in here. You just saw the left elbow there into his rib cage by number 16, Castro, the surprise starter today, who got Diaz Arce's place as a front runner, but he's been coming back a lot to help out in midfield. Very young player.
There's Jeff Agus.
Jeff has made some good runs, as you mentioned, but he's not been able to get around the last defender on the overlaps yet.
And this portion of today's game is brought to you by Nike. And Agus to McBride.
Well, McBride wins every header. He's now won 4 out of 4 headers. As you see what it's like from behind the goal. Look at McBride turning here and slicing it between the legs of the defender. And the goalkeeper, partially screened by that, reacts too late, and it just trickles into the net for a 1-0 USA lead.
Vermes sends it down the left side. Battle over there. And last touch by El Salvador. So the U.S. will have the throw-in. We were supposed to get 2 to 3 more inches of snow last night and into the morning, but the sun was shining brightly here in New England this morning. Started to cloud up here this afternoon. Temperature now has dropped down into the mid-30s. Difficult conditions to play in, but nonetheless, we have seen some outstanding stuff so far.
Oh, yeah, and the teamwork is beginning to click now for the U.S., and that goal certainly has got to make Steve Sampson very happy, because it came from unselfish play by Henderson, making a tough run from left to right and serving a great pass into McBride. And as I said earlier, McBride is a player with a tremendous future, and you can see why.
The United States leads El Salvador 1-0, and we're talking about players like Henderson and Vásquez and Preki, and why aren't you seeing a Wijnaldum and a Balboa and some of the more familiar U.S. players? Well, there's a yellow card situation. Many of the U.S. players have yellow cards. Some who do have them are playing in this game, but if they would get a second one, as of right now, they would be ineligible for the first World Cup game. That all might change. FIFA might change their mind, as they did in '94. But you can't take a chance on that.
Not at all.
So a couple of veterans like Vermes and Caligiuri are getting an opportunity, and some of the younger players And a handball called.
Yeah, and Henderson, as you mentioned, one of the guys with a yellow card, he's playing like he's determined to be in France. Colina spotted the handball at Henderson there. Of course, McBride, this is his first goal in the 1997 for the U.S., and he did score against Costa Rica in the semifinal series in Stanford Stadium last year.
His third goal for the United States, getting his 15th cap in this game at Foxborough, which has always been a very friendly venue for the U.S. as Vásquez cleared it out.
They've never lost. Never lost at Foxborough, the USA.
Now McBride controls it. He has won every ball in the air. Henderson runs it down. Now it's a foot race. Vićević does a good job to get to it and send it back to García. Now comes McBride quickly. What about defensively? What does Sampson want his team to do?
Well, right now he wants him to put as much pressure on so that the ball doesn't come out as easily as that. But Dooley, who just cleared that ball away, is such a brilliant reader of the game, and he can help out even in desperate situations.
Caligiuri ran down the right-hand side. He gets it back to Kobe Jones, 19. Excuse me, 13 is Jones. That's Thomas Dooley with the familiar red shoes. And Vásquez gets it back to Peter Vermes.
Vásquez did very well there, Roger, under a lot of pressure from a kind of a dodgy pass from Dooley.
Loose ball being chased down by Roberto Hernández. Hernández able to get away from Henderson. Hernández number 2 for El Salvador. Now taken away here. Vásquez, Henderson, McBride. Harkes runs onto it. Preki back to Harkes. The shot. Loose ball. Score! USA! Brian McBride!
Goalkeeper seems to be down injured. I don't quite know how. Couldn't have been from John Harkes' shot. It wasn't all that hard. Harkes would love to think that he has that powerful a shot to knock a goalie out. But this man, McBride, right on the doorstep. There's another good ball played through from Harkes. And he comes back to receive the ball. Look at how easily he goes in behind. Nice right-footed shot. There's the shot, and here's the shot and score. And you see the defender for El Salvador crashing into his own goalkeeper. That's where the injury came. But look at Harkes get through there so beautifully with nobody marking him. The ball took a bad bounce on that tough turf and came up on the keeper. And you'll see the keeper come out here now, García. See, the ball takes a little skip into him there. Here comes McBride. Here comes the defender right into the fallen goalkeeper, and thus the injury.
That looked like Sanabria, who came sliding in to the keeper, Raul García, who is still down. Sanabria has gotten up.
You know, this whole goal, though, came from the interceptions that the U.S. have been able to pull off in midfield, Roger. The interception was key, and they've been stepping up in midfield and winning the ball, particularly Vásquez and Preki even a few times. And the reason of that is because of El Salvador's downfall is that they're a totally predictable team on attack. They're always looking for Cienfuegos, and they have no variety whatsoever. Now look, they're going to look centrally in here. This is where they want to look, and it's now becoming so predictable that Martín Vásquez steps up. Henderson with a quick touch, and then to McBride, and now watch this give and go in here. There's the give, and watch Harkes make the run in here to the space. Then the shot, and there's McBride, of course, like any good striker, waiting on the doorstep for that half chance. But that all came from the heads-up interception.
We talked at the top about the opportunity a couple of players would get today. Brian McBride, one of those players getting an opportunity today and really making the most of it so far. USA has got 8 shots, 4 have been by McBride, and he's got 2 goals. And folks, when this game was scheduled for Foxborough on this Sunday, November 16th, a lot of people asked the question, why would you want to play at this time of the year in New England? And the answer is we've got El Salvador from Central America, and we want conditions to be a little cold, maybe a little frigid, the weather not very good. well, maybe this is more than everyone asked for.
I think so.
But so far, the United States has adjusted much, much better to it than El Salvador.
You know, you might be surprised why they haven't gotten the goalkeeper off the field and be treated, but in fact, it's because he's the goalkeeper. If it's a field player, then you could get a stretcher out and put him on the sideline, and sometimes they do take the goalkeeper out. But I mean, that essentially would, because the goalkeeper is such a specialist player, you have to treat his injury slightly differently as a referee from the way you treat a field player.
Brian McBride was the first player picked in the original Major League Soccer draft after college. Seamus, he played some in Germany, hurt an ankle after playing against Jamaica. He's had a knee problem too, but he's come back and he looks very fit.
He looks terrific. He's, as I said, a player for the present and the future. And if there's any doubt about who's going to be contending for a place up front in World Cup '98, it's been settled today.
This portion of today's game is brought to you by MasterCard. And here comes the United States one more time. Kobe Jones on the near side, loses it. Off the head of Dooley to Caligiuri.
Am I still open?
Yes, you are, Ty.
I want to still be open.
Ty Keogh, what's the mood down there right now? It's got to be euphoric for the U.S.
Well, I think it's important to note that on both goals, Preki was very much involved. On the first one, he's the one that gave it to Henderson, who then crossed into McBride. And on this last one, just a beautifully threaded give and go with John Harkes. So Preki is making his mark in this match and trying to impress Steve Sampson.
And Agus is taken down on the far side.
Oh, there's Preki, and of course a good point from Ty, because we think of Preki as a shooter, but he's also a very precise passer.
Well, I asked Sampson last night if Preki could play a good game without scoring. And Sampson said, yes, I feel he can, but he doesn't feel he can. So far today, he's been very good. Another opportunity just off the side. That looked like Caligiuri. It was Paul Caligiuri that came in.
Well, Caligiuri ran into the space vacated by Tom Dooley's run, which is a nice heads-up play. You'll see the ball swerving in here. Look at Caligiuri. Finds a space there. Defender stays with him well. And now you see what it looks like to the goalkeeper. But Caligiuri, for just a second there, is wide open. Defender closed on him at the last minute.
It might have taken this U.S. team a couple of minutes to come together, but they have come together very quickly.
Well, this is also a very dispirited El Salvador team right now, because not only do you have to win, they have to hope Jamaica doesn't get anything out of the game in Mexico, against Mexico, and right now it's not looking good for them.
Ball tackled away from Henderson as El Salvador trying to get back and put some pressure on Brad Friedel and the U.S. defense. So far, the U.S. has had all the answers at that end of the field. As DeMello, Cienfuegos. Look at 3 men around him. It seems like whenever he gets the ball, there are 3 U.S. defenders around him, and Henderson now will try to take it up the side.
Well, one of the problems for El Salvador is they are so dependent upon Cienfuegos that if you can win the ball from him, they're in trouble to counterattack.
No score still in that Jamaica-Mexico game.
Kicked off at the same time as USA El Salvador, so we should be with them minute by minute.
Cienfuegos gets it to the middle, chipped over to the side. That's number 12, Cienfuegos. Vićević, and a whistle against El Salvador.
Yeah, right.
A little careless there by the U.S., but Kobe Jones able to get it, tackled away by El Salvador. I'll tell you right now, the Salvadorans having a hard time keeping control of the ball, Seamus.
Well, it's a lot of very good, hard-working pressure, blue-collar, if you will, pressure by the United States team. Kobe Jones has made a couple of good runs, but he has not been able to get by. He's not been able to get by his man yet. Well, you see the touches and chances for Preki and Cienfuegos, but the big difference on the extreme right, one of those turned into a good shot, and of course Preki helped create the goal, the first goal.
Agus, Preki, McBride. Preki with 2 men on him.
Excellent play by Preki there.
Both Henderson and McBride over there. That will be a throw in for the U.S. Back touch to Caligiuri. Out to the arc.
Oh, looked like a handball there.
Yeah, sure did.
Senor Colina was right there.
Cerritos sending it down the right-hand side.
Great pressure by Vermes. This is a big difference too, Roger. Vermes is stepping up and attacking his player immediately that the player receives the ball.
Well, how about the veterans the U.S. has in there? Caligiuri and Vermes and Dooley. I mean, that's a world of experience.
It is.
You can shut the light off. Shut.
Mr. Colina, who, of course, who refereed the gold medal game in the Atlanta Olympics, in which Nigeria stunned the world and beat Argentina.
Valencia sends it up the middle. Steve Sampson thought that when the United States came together for training in Big Bear, California for 2 weeks, as El Salvador with the shot and the miss. That's their best opportunity so far, and that was DeMello.
Well, it's the first time that El Salvador's been able to get a player behind the United States defense because Dooley has been so good, but you'll see it's an excellent run by DeMello. As we see the replay here, here's DeMello running through. When the ball is played through, the ball is already gone, so I think he was not
Just to finish my thought on Big Bear, Steve Sampson thought it was so critical when they came together there for a couple weeks before Mexico that maybe he had some individuals starting to go in different directions, but they really came together as a team. And that's what he's been focusing on through Mexico, through Canada, in preparation this week, and will be the big key for France '98.
Well, absolutely, and then in that connection, Roger, they do want to let down their concentration at the back, as they did that time when the back players got caught flat and one pass beat 4 players.
Harkes,
great ball,
sends a crossing ball. Kobe Jones brings it down. Jones chips it into the area. Henderson with the head. Henderson across the goal mouth. No one was able to run onto it.
Well, I think Chris definitely had the goal in mind there. Didn't quite hit the target, but it fell beautifully for him, and wasn't able to put it away. Great, again, side-to-side play by the U.S., turning the El Salvador defense around. This runs right to Henderson. He can't squeeze it in at the post.
Harkes goes after it. Harkes, in the air, Agus.
Harkes is winning everything in midfield. There he goes again. Look at that first touch.
Now you see Kobe's gone over to the left side. Now Henderson has stayed on the right side.
Yeah, Kobe and Henderson will switch off. John Harkes making a statement today, I think, about midfield play, don't you think?
I was just going to say
this is where he wants to be, and he's letting everybody know this is where he should be.
Maybe he's trying to tell Steve Sampson, he says, I was happy to do that in Mexico to go back, but he goes, this is where I want to be. Now Caligiuri ran over the ball, but a nice chip back to him, and to Henderson. Henderson, and García comes out to make the play. McBride was right there.
Well, Henderson getting around the back. This whole half has been played on the U.S. end of the field. Well, we talked about Cienfuegos. There's Henderson, who's had so much of the ball. He's had a lot more of the ball than Cienfuegos for El Salvador.
Vásquez will send it over near side.
Seamus and Roger, truly inspired effort by a few guys who have not been regulars in this team. Paul Caligiuri is one of them. Peter Vermes, definitely another, in terms of the intensity of their play thus far today. And of course, Brian McBride has 2 goals and is shown to be the type of attacker that perhaps the U.S. could use in France.
Well, this is the kind of performance that the U.S. fans have been waiting for, been looking for. An authoritative performance. There's a total fake and a dive. Mr. Colina, who is from the opera buffo of the Serie A, the Italian league, has seen a lot more convincing dives than that, I'll tell you.
So you don't think DeMello's going to make it as an actor? Huh?
I don't think so.
I'll tell you, the United States really has some quickness in their step today. I mean, they're getting to the balls first.
Well, they've grabbed this game by the throat, and they've said, this is our game in a way that we haven't seen them do in a year and a half.
This portion of today's game is brought to you by National Car Rental. United States 2, El Salvador nothing. Time running down in the first half here from Foxborough. Crowd of over 50,000, and I've seen this stadium in all different types of weather, Seamus. You can go back to the first MLS Cup, and these fans come out and they're supportive, and I think these players appreciate that, and they always put on a tremendous show here at Foxborough.
Well, they get a great lift from this crowd. It's a great crowd in MLS too for the Revolution. It's the best crowd in the league, in fact, in terms of attendance, and you might say in terms of enthusiasm, although DC United fans may have something to say about that.
It looks like Kobe Jones got some blood coming from his mouth. As El Salvador's Renderos sending it down. Now Friedel comes out in a dangerous situation, but he gets there quickly. As running onto the ball was Cerritos.
Look at that throw.
Oh, wow.
We've seen throws in this stadium like that too, but a different shaped ball slightly.
Friedel doing his Drew Bledsoe
impersonation. Exactly. What a heck of a throw that was, a release to Henderson.
Friedel's a terrific all-around athlete. Was a good basketball player. Played baseball too.
Well, he came beautifully for that pass to intercept it. There's Kobe Jones again, trying and not getting around. Here he's got it again.
Kobe sends it into the middle, cleared out, and El Salvador cannot catch up with it. The U.S. with the throw in and quickly by Agus, back to Kobe Jones. Marked over there by Roberto Hernández.
Beautiful from Kobe.
Now Dooley, who's come up. DePrecki. Oh, that was a sweet move. Couldn't quite pull it off, but gets it back to Dooley. Precky in the middle. Look at this. Ball brought down, but Harkes loses it.
There's Harkes chasing back, and Dooley chasing back, and they win it.
Now Henderson. The shot just over the top.
Harkes, having lost the ball in the penalty area, made a 50-yard defensive run and helped with Dooley to win it back. And here's that defensive pressure again we're talking about. U.S. players collapsing on them and winning the ball, and then losing it, and then winning it again.
Now El Salvador trying to gather themselves, trying to get something going, and Agus was right there with an answer. Passing has been crisp. The U.S. has stepped faster than El Salvador, playing with a purpose, even though they're playing this game knowing that they are going to World Cup '98. Centering ball cleared out by Dooley, but off Vásquez, and now a dangerous situation, but Friedel's right there. Looked like DeMello might have got a head on it.
Two-goal lead. A lot of coaches tell you it's a bad lead to have people relax. Is the U.S. relaxing here?
Renderos, number 7, and headed over the goal. 16 there for El Salvador is Israel Castro, young 22-year-old, and Martín Vásquez.
This is an excellent ball served in here to Castro. See, good defensive play back, but look at how well that's played, and he's got to come and make a sort of glancing side header to get to it. If he could have kept it down, it might have been difficult for Friedel.
Now the U.S. able to hold defensively. Dooley unable to come up with it. The shot taken in Friedel. Right there to make the save. Well, DeMello had a good look at it.
Well, the only time the U.S. defense gets in a little bit of trouble like this, Roger, is when the midfield defense allows a quick release ball by El Salvador forward. And that's what happened that time. When the midfield defense is tenacious, that ball simply doesn't get through.
Henderson battling there with Renderos and across the near side.
Well, a good finishing shot, but Brad Friedel has no problems with this. No need to make anything of a grandstand effort out of it. Moves nimbly to his left and just knocks it down.
Henderson.
Boy, Henderson playing with such confidence.
Would you object if we brought Brian in with you?
We've got added time now. Probably about 3 minutes, a period of time when García was down in front of the goal after the U.S. score.
That's another piece of indecision by Martin Vásquez.
And Dooley comes away with it.
Yeah, Dooley is beginning now to get into situations of one-on-one. There's definitely a foul by Sanabria, who has been victimized by McBride twice for goals. And that's a little bit of a payback message for him in midfield. There's Sanabria coming in. And he just knocks him over. Nothing very unusual about that. Nothing physically dangerous. Here comes Martin Vásquez.
Vásquez, who played 9 years in Mexico. With Tampa Bay now of MLS. And the United States looks like they're going to be satisfied to just work this around and control the ball here in the final moments of the first half. They have a 2-0 lead against El Salvador. El Salvador needing a win today to have any chance of moving on to France '98. Dooley and DeMello, and the whistle.
Well, Dooley committing the foul. Dooley's getting into these one-on-one situations I talked about, which is not his great strength. And DeMello is very good at taking the position in front of him and spinning off him. You have to foul him.
Henderson misses the tackle. That was Hernández, number 2, who sends it to the wing. Crossing now, and Friedel, all 6'5", and with that 38-inch reach.
Oh man, the Condor.
Oh. That is a big-time wingspan as Preki loses it. He had Harkes over on the side. Vermes battling in the middle. Peter Vermes trapped there nicely by Kobe Jones off the chest. McBride and trying to find Harkes on the near side, taken away there by Renderos. And we've reached the first half. And what a first half for the United States. Young Brian McBride with 2 goals as the U.S. dominated offensively. And this crowd of better than 50,000 here at Foxborough Stadium on this cold and blustery Sunday afternoon. A lot to cheer about, and let's go to Ty Keogh.
Steve, 11 players that have never played together as a unit for the United States. They started off a little bit rusty. They were working it out, but it didn't take long.
It didn't take long. At times they're playing with great fluidity, and other times they're playing inconsistent. We need to keep the ball a little bit more. I think we showed in the last 10 minutes that we need to possess the ball a lot more through the midfield. And if we can do that and continue to get our outside backs around our wide players, we're going to create some problems for the Salvadorian defense.
How about the fluidity of your attack on the 2 goals? Beautifully constructed goals.
No, I'm very proud of the guys. I mean, Harkes and Preki and Kobe. Brian McBride scored 2 great goals. I'm very happy for him.
Is Brian what you need over in France?
Could be.
Good. Thanks, Steve. Congratulations. Back up to you, Roger.
All right, Ty, thank you very much. We're at halftime here at Foxborough Stadium, this World Cup '98 qualifier. The U.S. is already going to France. You bet the next stop is there, and they're going in style right now.
Down at the El Salvador end. Secondly, they have been able to change the point of attack. That's what led to McBride's goal, and the team unity has been pretty strong for most of it for players that haven't played together very much. But El Salvador has had problems. Only once or twice have they had penetration passes at the end. Cienfuegos has been played out of the game a lot. He's been ineffective, working on his own, frankly. And the U.S. clearly has taken over the game.
Let's go down to Ty Keogh. Ty?
The U.S. attack was very much benefited from the cold temperatures and especially the wind. They'll be playing against the wind in the second half. Also, Jürgen Sommer will be dealing with that chopped up penalty area due to a Rolling Stones concert here about 2 weeks ago. So different conditions. Also, it looks like a potential substitution for the United States. I think Kobe Jones is going out. Back up to you, Roger.
All right, Ty, thank you very much. And there's Jürgen Sommer, played at Luton Town in England, where he did a pretty good job, but he's rarely appeared for the U.S. because of the depth at the position. Currently, Seamus, the reserve team at the Queen Park Rangers.
Yeah, he's at Queen's Park Rangers, and he has played on the first team, but lost his job there a while ago, and would love to win it back.
Well, we understand David Pleat might become the new manager at Luton, and that was his coach. I mean, excuse me, at
Luton Town.
Yeah, at Luton Town.
So he may move. David Pleat, who was fired at Sheffield Wednesday, may end up there.
So we are underway, second half from Foxborough, the United States with a 2-0 lead. And we'll check on other substitutes for you as quickly Henderson runs on, but an offside as he got the ball from McBride. And we at ABC Sports would like to thank Budweiser, Canon, Nike, MasterCard, and National Car Rental for allowing us to bring you today's game without interruption. That's McBride and Harkes.
Interesting, McBride dropping back there twice, trying to help serve up things, and Preki making the front run.
Now Henderson can't run onto it, and cleared out by Hernández, but Vermes gets a foot on it. Martín Vásquez and Dooley. Dooley the other day was telling me, World Cup '98, I'm thinking about 2002. He'll be 37.
Well, he's been a great, he was a great captain for the U.S. in Canada when they clinched.
Well, Harkes wasn't available as Summer, a little indecisive, runs out and clears it as Agus can't find it. And El Salvador moving up with Castro, taken down by several U.S. players.
This is a critical piece of play now, time of play rather, for El Salvador. They got to get back into this thing.
We saw Elias Montes, number 9, who's checked into the game for El Salvador, and 11 Cerritos is out. So one substitution for each team. And this portion of today's game is brought to you by Budweiser. As Cienfuegos, about 4 yards off the ball. Just chips it into the area. Kobe Jones got a piece of it. Now Henderson off the head, and Agus will send the ball downfield. Valencia sends it back over to Cienfuegos. Now back to Valencia.
And that tough midfield pressure by the U.S. Look where McBride is playing. He's come back, and now he's got whacked on the shin.
Yeah, he just went down. So McBride's down on the near side. And even though they wear those shin pads, Seamus, sometimes they don't even offer enough protection.
No, I think he got hit on just on the side of the leg, but McBride's on fire. You won't want to leave this one. This has got to be Jurgen Sommer's ball, yep.
Sommer is a big man. Played his college soccer at Indiana. 6'5", 215 pounds. Not much for El Salvador's fans to cheer about so far today as Vásquez runs onto it. Kobe Jones. Tackle missed from behind. Boy, nice run there by Kobe Jones. Left foot into the middle, off the head of Harkes. Look at Henderson, can he get there? Yes! Score! USA!
Well, that man, Kobe Jones, deserves huge credit for this goal, because when he was given a pass at midfield, it was a difficult ball, and he took it down magnificently with great skill. And Henderson gets the goal, but really, what a great job. There's Henderson, there's Kobe Jones just having gotten that ball. Now he's going to find Preki with a touch, and Preki is the one who cuts it back as he always does, and a great cross beats everybody except Harkes. Harkes nods it on, and there is Henderson with a touch in.
United States 3 and El Salvador nothing. And the Salvadorans' chances of going to France are slipping away.
Well, I tell you, if you ever wanted to plan a vacation in Jamaica, this may be the time to start. Because they're going to be very happy down in Kingston about this scoreline.
Now here they go again. McBride to Henderson. Oh, goodness, it went through. I don't know if Henderson might have thought somebody was trailing behind him.
Well, Preki was in fact trailing behind him, and Henderson couldn't quite drop it off for him.
Roger Seamus, I heard Steve Sampson's talk at halftime in the locker room, and he says, let's go out and get that third goal right away. Now he's looking at a potential fourth goal, the way Brian McBride and Chris Henderson are buzzing around the El Salvador penalty area.
Well, Henderson does not look like a guy playing with a yellow card. He's playing absolutely fearlessly, and he's done a great job for the U.S., as has Preki. I mean, Preki has not shown us the kind of play we expected in one sense, but his passing and his positional play has been really first-rate.
And it was the third goal for Henderson for the United States national team, as Egas sends it down, and it's cleared out. And of course, Chris Henderson has a lot to be happy about. He was recently married and is going on his honeymoon as soon as this game's over.
Hopefully somewhere a little warmer than Foxboro, Massachusetts.
South Pacific, I think, is the destination.
Well, if you have to be outside Boston, I think that's not a bad place, speaking as a Bostonian.
Well, Henderson is making a statement here today. He is one of the players playing with a yellow card. Felt it was important that he play today and prove to Steve Sampson that he deserves to go to France next summer.
And there's Preki doing all the defensive work. We'll take another look at the goal now. Look, watch this pass come in here, and look at the touch on there. That's a great touch in a crowd of players. And as we come back to rush at the other end, but that was Jones had a great touch there.
DeMello, who took it down and fortunately cleared out for the United States, and it'll be a corner kick coming up for El Salvador.
Good save by Jeff Egas, though. Jeff knows he wants to secure his place after some tough times in a couple of games with the giveaway against Jamaica and the red card against Mexico.
Henderson touched it. Now chased down by Renderos as Valencia will send a long ball down. Cienfuegos trying to run onto it. He's got Harkes over there with him. Egas trying to help, but a nice touch. Now back, and the shot, the header won't go. Boy, a terrific opportunity. A lot of good things happened. Rodríguez was one of them, number 17, trying to make it happen. And the man that checked in, Montez.
Well, some running around here by players. 2-on-1, should have been able to slow that down, but there's where the problem lies. But good old Dooley gets a touch on it anyhow. But it was the off-the-ball running that unbalanced the defense there for the United States as they lost track of the attacking player.
Tyquio Brian McBride played his college soccer at St. Louis, all-time leading scorer there. He's had a pretty good MLS career. Tell us about his development along the way.
Brian McBride, there's no question, is one of the most dedicated young athletes I've ever seen in my life. He played at St. Louis University, my alma mater. I saw him play for them. He has developed year in, year out because he's constantly in the weight room. He's constantly working on his finishing, and you'll never find a more dedicated athlete.
Well, it's paying off today, all those long hours of working, and he's making this opportunity count. As Vásquez will send it down the far side. It doesn't get there as Valencia gets ahead on it to Montez.
They're trying to find Preki over there, Roger. He's taking up a nice wide position.
DeMello is 18, and he's pushed from behind by Vermes. Peter Vermes, one of the final cuts in '94. We spent some time with him in the broadcast booth.
That's right. He did a number of appearances for us. I think he was the third man in the booth in the great Colombia, the victory of the USA over Colombia.
But he said, I will hold that off till later. He said, I still have some playing left in me. As wide.
What a heck of a shot that was by Sanabria. Man, that was a beautiful drive by Sanabria. And it looked like Sommer had it well covered. So Jürgen Sommer, who is also 6'5", very dominant physique, terrific athlete.
Well, he's had some personal tragedy this summer. His wife had a miscarriage, and some things that have affected him. Sometimes we look at athletes and we see what they're doing on the field, and we forget, Seamus, about their personal lives and the things that are going on there and how that does have an effect too at times.
Absolutely, and he's also had a rough go professionally getting back into the team at Queens Park Rangers. El Salvador's got to take all kinds of gambles now. They just got to send players forward and maybe pinch a goal and try to turn this thing around. But the U.S. has just got to keep their discipline, keep those passing lanes shut down in this last third of the field, and then look to counterattack against low numbers. There's good discipline by Harkes there, staying back, filling his lane nicely.
Long ball headed across, and this portion of today's game is brought to you by Canon.
I don't envy Jürgen Sommer in goal for the United States. He is going to face a great deal more action than Brad Friedel did in the first half of play. The U.S. team relaxing a little bit here with the 3-goal lead, and also the wind is gusting upwards of 25 miles per hour in Jürgen Sommer's face. So he's playing against that, and El Salvador looks like they've not given up yet.
Sommer turning that way with the left foot, but nice to see a two-footed goalkeeper. Sometimes keepers have trouble with the kicking with both feet. Harkes there, concentrating well on a quick throw-in. Cienfuegos trying to get something going here, but look at Henderson tracking all the way back to his own goal line and keeping up with number 2, who is Hernández, the right fullback, and he's got to come back with Hernández when Hernández makes that overlapping run. And a lot of wide players forget about that.
Throw in for El Salvador. They're trailing 3-0. Steve Sampson has said that he would like to get a couple of other substitutes into this game besides Jürgen Sommer, who comes out and makes that play.
You see Jürgen Sommer coming out of that ball at the last second. He had to reach to his left because that wind really caught the ball on him. There's once again Sanabria, committing the foul. It's been a nicely played game. No nasty business at all in this match.
Chris Henderson, who's turning a deep shade of purple at the moment.
Yeah. Well, he started thinking about USA substitutes now. I mean, is Preki going to play 90 minutes? I mean, there's a big question about whether Preki is able to go 90 minutes at international level yet. There he is on the ball, a good touch.
Kobe Jones. Boy, look at that quickness by Jones. He gets it right to the middle. The play not be able to make. All the blue shirts now gather around the ball and take it away.
Well, unfortunately, Kobe Jones opted for, there's an offside. Kobe Jones opted for a ground pass when he had 2 players open for a chip in the air at the far post. Here's Kobe. This is the one place where the USA's had trouble. That is a longish pass out of the back. When they've worked it through the midfield, it's looked much sharper.
Throw in now by Harkes as trip from behind. Henderson is taken down. Number 20, Sanabria, was the man that stepped on his heel, and the United States getting ready to send in a substitution.
Hold them off.
Brian Masonoff.
Have fun.
Well, Brian Masonoff is another one of these up-and-coming players. Here comes the cross in, who's going to be, I think, a feature of the American team in the future.
Plays for the Columbus Crew, and
as does Brian McBride.
Yep. One of the young players, 24 years of age. This will be his 3rd cap when he comes on the field. There's McBride.
Brian Masonoff, the top scorer for the United States in the '96 Olympic Games. So he has a very high comfort level in terms of getting it done in front of the net.
Touch back to Harkes, but it's taken away.
A little DC United combination there of Harkes to Harkes almost worked. Look at Martin Vásquez chase across. Cover up for Harkes. Now Harkes is back.
Noah, Sommer, score! Salvador!
certainly looked offside in the run of play. And the referee has gone to consult with the linesman who has given the goal. But it looked way, way offside to the human eye. Sometimes that can fool you, though. But take a look as this ball is played through. Now watch, this is the touch here, there. Well, it's very, very close. The ball's in the air, but when the ball was touched...
If you go by the football line,
okay,
there's Seamus.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the touch here. This is not quite the touch yet. It's got to roll a little bit longer. There, right there.
Off the left foot.
I think he just beat it. I think he just beat it. I think it was a good job by the referee and assistant referee. And it just goes to show you how something can look way offside initially to the human eye, but then on replay, officials have got it exactly right.
So El Salvador finally gets on the scoreboard.
Excellent run here. A nice touch through. Vermes caught out. And no chance for Summer here. At this level of international play, De Mello has got to put that one away. So that's the first goal the U.S. has given away in a while, having the shutout with Mexico away and a shutout with Canada also away.
Preki, Harkes, looking for Kobe Jones. And it's cleared out by El Salvador across the far side.
Well, here comes Diaz Arce now. So, a substitution now for El Salvador. This is what the fans have been waiting for. It's the big hero, Diaz Arce, number 10. And in disfavor with the coach. Now he's back on to see if he can pull out another goal.
El Salvador able to clear it out. Sanabria got it downfield. And Summer comes out to make the play.
Penalty.
And a penalty. Peter Vermes was over there on De Mello.
Well, De Mello certainly got the first touch on the ball. You see Peter laboring a little bit to catch up here. Doesn't touch the ball, and eventually he clatters into him, into De Mello, and it's a penalty kick. I've got to say, it looked a good decision. Down he went. He was definitely hit.
Unbelievable turn of events, and the kick is taken, and it's in. Diaz Arce, and all of a sudden it's a 3-2 game.
Well, the one thing the U.S. defense looked a little bit vulnerable at times was being caught flat, and we saw in the goal they were, and here is the penalty kick, which once again, at this level, ought to be an automatic goal. Diaz Arce, again, tucking it just inside the post.
Well, it's given the El Salvador fans something to cheer about, and coming in for the U.S. right now, they're making a substitution. Mike Sorber, number 16, will come in, and Martin Vásquez will come out. So Masonoff replaced Henderson, and now Sorber, who's a very solid defensive player, and a veteran of the World Cup, will come into the game as a 3-0 lead has now become a 3-2, one-goal advantage for the United States. There's Mike Sorber, and a lot of time remaining.
What an amazing transformation. As you said a minute ago, Roger, they were looking for the fourth goal. El Salvador looked absolutely dead in the water. And now 2 mistakes by the U.S. defense, and all of a sudden, it's a whole new game.
And the vacation in Jamaica is not looking that good.
It's Masonoff.
Masonoff is taken down on the near side.
It's got to be a card. Yep, yellow card.
Sanabria put the shoulder into him. So the yellow card delivered.
No question. Watch Masonoff push the ball past him now. There's the push, and there comes Sanabria, clearly just taking the player down. But no injury involved. But U.S. just got to recover the composure that they were showing for the first 60 minutes.
Agus. He gets it up in the air. Cleared out by El Salvador. Cienfuegos, though, off the back of Sorber. And Kobe Jones in the middle, pushed from behind by DeMello. And this portion of today's game is brought to you by Nike.
Well, the Sorber substitution for Martin Vásquez is a very good one. Mike Sorber, number 16 for the U.S., so experienced in playing the defensive midfield position.
DeMello loses it. Negus comes up with it. A little bit too much off it. And it comes across the near side. Goals 3 minutes apart by El Salvador. DeMello, and then the penalty kick by Diaz Arce. And El Salvador trails by just one. McBride, back to Kobe Jones.
Mike Sorber. Yeah. See what, here comes Dooley coming forward.
Back to Dooley. Tackled away, and now he's pulled down. And there's a whistle.
Well, you can see Cienfuegos and Hernández can't quite believe it, but it looked like he was pulled down a little bit. Dooley goes like that. It's very important that somebody cover for him because Dooley is not a midfielder now. Dooley is a central defender, so if he makes a forward run, there's a gap at the back which could be victimized by a counterattack in much the same way that El Salvador has gotten their 2 goals.
The only chance El Salvador has for France is a victory here today.
That's correct. And they have to hope that Jamaica gets nothing out of their game against Mexico. No draw, no win.
Harkes over the top. A tie does not do El Salvador any good.
No, tie doesn't do them any good. They need a win. And not only a win, they have to hope that Jamaica loses. At halftime, it was 0-0 Jamaica against Mexico in Jamaica.
Cienfuegos. And Sorber got a piece of it. I got the feeling Sorber might be sticking close to Cienfuegos.
I think you'd be right there.
Cienfuegos delivers the ball, but Dooley heads it out. Preki brings it down. But back to number 12, Cienfuegos. Valencia sends it up front. Cienfuegos touches it. Look at that beautiful job by Thomas Dooley to trap it with his left foot and bring it down. Now into Summer.
You know, this is a very good test for the United States now, Roger. Very good test of character and of ability to rally. Look at that ball hold up in the wind there. Because they had this game comfortably. They've sort of, in a way, blown it by giving up 2 goals, although one was a well-taken goal. But nonetheless, they now have got to show each other what they're capable of under adverse circumstances.
And a lot of pressure on Jürgen Sommer. I mean, here's a man who's not played much for his national team. He's getting an opportunity today, and he's slightly shell-shocked at this time. His last appearance was June 17th in the Israel match for the United States. You can see El Salvador is getting to the ball a little bit quicker than they were in the first half.
Their whole spirit has been lifted. They're challenging balls in midfield. They're winning back the midfield that they had conceded.
Dangerous situation with DeMello. 2 men on him. DeMello able to get it through, but Dooley right there to save the day.
Dooley doing exactly what he's supposed to do.
And then Kobe Jones taken down.
Covering up behind Vermes. Vermes having a tough second half here. DeMello's really running him ragged, but this man Dooley is helping Vermes out by slipping in behind him so that if he loses the 1-against-1 challenge on DeMello, he's there.
The United States have made all 3 of their allowed substitutes, so they've got over 20 minutes to go with this 1-goal lead, and they'll have to do it with the guys that are out there.
So So that means the answer to the question, will Preki play 90, is yes. No choice but to play 90.
So Summer, one of the substitutes, Masonoff, and then Sorber, who's a surprise substitute because Steve Sampson wanted to get Ralston in there.
Yeah, wanted to get Ralston wide left.
Now McBride. McBride cannot control it. Hernández, number 2, is over there. He loses it. And the U.S. will have a throw-in.
U.S. needs to go back to the basics of pressuring El Salvador at this end of the field.
Masonoff to throw it in. And cleared back to the corner. Masonoff gets it inside. Ball on the foot of Jones. Now Sorber will take the shot. And not much for García to deal with there.
Well, that ball fell in a tough way for Jones. Sorber with the shot. But you got to contrast that with McBride, the way he received the ball into his feet.
Oh, nice ball from Harkes down to Preki. Preki. Oh, and cleared out. Oh, some beautiful stuff over there. Another clear out. Off the chest of Jones. He has it blocked. Boy, Harkes came down and got it to Kobe Jones. Cienfuegos battling on the side. And the whistle.
Well, Harkes with a great chance there on a superb pass from Preki. But once again, he went near the near attacker rather than 2 wide open players at the far post.
Well, coming up next on ABC Sports, Thrifty Car Rental Skate America. It's the first step on the road to qualifying for the Winter Olympics. That's next here on ABC. 3-2, the United States leads El Salvador. Under 20 minutes to go from Foxboro.
And Harkes is wide open up top if they can get it to him.
They go to McBride. McBride has Masonoff. Now there's Harkes, you talked about him. Ball a little late, get there, he's got the shot, save García! And cleared across the end line, corner kick coming up for the U.S.
Well, Harkes had made the run early, they didn't get it to him, he retreated, he made the run a second time. And Masonoff, now we talk about precise crosses. This is a precise cross, right to him. He can spin away from the defender. He has a bit more time than he thought, actually, maybe another split second. And the keeper makes a good save, though. Give some credit to García.
John Harkes to deliver the corner. Well, he's put some beautiful balls in there so far today. This on the near post. Masonoff tries to chip it in there. And Jamaica and Mexico, still no score.
That's all Jamaica wants. 90 minutes of 0-0, and they'll be very happy.
Is Bora feeling a lot of pressure right now?
I think so. I mean, Bora, I don't know what kind of team he sent down there. Whether he used a lot of young players.
Well, beautifully done there by Kobe Jones, but loses it back to El Salvador. Vermes gets it to Masonoff. And Sorber. Agus runs onto it. Nice run by Jeff Agus. He's got some space. Agus delivers it to the side. In front. Oh, off the post. Oh, my goodness. It looked like a U.S. goal. And off the post, Agus was right there.
Oh, that terrific work by Agus. The great run forward. The beautifully timed release and the follow-up run into the box. And he gets the golden chance to ice this game. The game that we thought was iced already, and he hits the post. Amazing game. What an entertaining game for the fans here. No matter what country you're from.
Cienfuegos chipping it in. Harkes gets it to Agus. Man, was that a great opportunity. And Agus made it happen himself. He started the play, and he nearly was able to finish it.
He started the play, and he used the runner outside as a decoy and cut in nicely. Good play by Agus. Now that's a very nice play by Jeff Agus, a soft, glancing header back to the keeper.
You know what we're seeing today, Seamus? We're seeing a lot of guys that are telling their coach, I want to be on your team next summer. I don't care who the starters are, I want to be there.
Look at Harkes. Harkes has been so dominant in midfield. Couldn't quite get that to Preki, but Harkes deserves a goal for all his work. But they've got to, the best way they can show the coach they belong is to keep working for each other and not let El Salvador get another easy goal. That's more important than individual histrionics at this point.
And the foul from behind. And this portion of today's game is brought to you by MasterCard. Roger Twyble, Seamus Malantine, Keogh with you in Foxborough. Less than 15 minutes to go.
Roger, Steve Sampson concerned that the U.S. defenders are only marking space and not marking men. That's his yell from the sideline.
And DeMello nailed from behind. Is that Vermes?
Yes. Well, it looked like he made a, let's see if he made a meal of this or not. You see the ball chipped in, you'll see the check from Vermes. There's a bit of a bump there, but I think there was a little extra theater at the end. Certainly there was bump, but there was the usual kind of defender-attacker bump. But maybe hey, DeMello got something out of it.
His acting has improved as the game has worn on.
Now here's Diaz Arce, who's so good at this. He'll be looking to try to put this around to Summers' right, I would think. Try to get it up over the wall and under the crossbar to Summers' right, my guess is, but
off the post, brought down by El Salvador and cleared out. Egas got a piece of it. Now Preki sending the long ball down. Masonoff on the near side. Masonoff to Dooley. Oh, he was looking to go back to Masonoff.
And now Dooley's space has got to be filled at the back.
Egas is looking for some help.
Well, he didn't go to his right. He went to his left with that shot. He went to Summers' left, and Jurgen had no chance for that, but it rattled off the crossbar. So posts and crossbars at both ends.
Well, you know, Dooley and Masonoff played Columbus, and it looked like maybe they were, you know, Dooley was looking to do something there, and Masonoff just didn't react to it.
What a great free kick by Diaz Arce. Beats the wall, beats the goalkeeper, but doesn't beat the metal work there on the goal.
Well, he scored on a penalty kick.
What a let-off for the U.S. after they had hit the post at the other end.
Lost there by the United States.
Caligiuri with a giveaway.
Gets it down to DeMello, and he loses it. As Dooley sends it to Harkes in the middle. Harkes loses it. Hernández gets it back. And now Harkes is down, and they're frantically signaling.
I don't know what happened to Harkes here. He certainly made a very late 40-60 challenge here.
John Harkes appears to have injured his right ankle, an ankle that he has had surgery on within the last 8 or 9 months, and it's very obvious.
And there are no substitutes left for the U.S. to bring in here. But this tackle is really out of his reach here. But he tries to go for it. And looked like he had injured the other player. I thought he had really hurt Sanabria, but you can see him reaching for his own leg. And the U.S. may be forced to play the last 12 minutes with 10 players.
Well, let's take you back to a few minutes ago when Jeff Eggers started building something up.
Well, look at Jeff Eggers use the outside run as a decoy. See, then he cuts inside. That's where the space is. And now he'll serve a very nice soft pass in here for McBride finally with the overlapping run. And here's the cross, and watch it come right back to Eggers. And he's just got a wide open goal there. Couldn't be an easier chance in the world. And he somehow contrived to hit the post.
And John Harkes is getting a yellow card?
A yellow card. Well, I'm not surprised at that. I think that's a good decision by Kalina. That was a very dangerous late tackle that John Harkes came in on. He may not think that it was late, but it was a tackle he made as a tired player, or his appetite exceeded his tummy a little bit. You see him reaching for this. He really can't get at that. Player's got the inside edge, and so he definitely whacks into Sanabria, and that's what the yellow card is for.
So now Harkes is making his way off with the help of the trainers, Rudy Wadowski's over there. And there's a possibility maybe he could come back.
Oh, yeah.
And as you said, the substitutions have been used up, so the U.S. playing a man down right now.
That's right.
So Harkes has gone over to the far side, and let's see if the U.S. can do what they did against Mexico when they played for 60-plus minutes, a man down.
That's right, against frankly, a much better team than El Salvador.
But maybe not a team with the sense of urgency that El Salvador has today. Mexico had already qualified at that time.
Well, they needed a draw in that game to be absolutely sure. They had for all intents and purposes qualified. I think Harkes will come back on. I think he'll be ready to come back on, which is certainly good for all kinds of reasons.
And here comes John Harkes back on the field, the U.S. team captain, as Summer comes out to play the ball. And we'll roll it to Dooley.
Well, you got to give El Salvador credit here. They look dangerous when they can get a long ball through to an isolated front runner.
Very strong play in the middle by the United States today. Dangerous situation here. And García gets a piece of the shot. Score! USA! And finally, Rocky.
Well, if Brecky had been at the post instead of Agus, it would now be 5-2, I think. But what a great piece of work by Kobe Jones. Kobe Jones made all the work on the right side. Great run from Kobe Jones. And finally, a quality serve from the right side. This is Kobe Jones. Now watch him ghost by the defender here. Lures him in, and then the push and run. Perfect piece of play by Kobe Jones. And then the quality touch. Keeper almost fooled, touches it away. But Brecky, with that educated left foot, just knocks it into the corner where the space was.
United States 4 and El Salvador 2. And quickly now, the Salvadorans back to the other end. I'll tell you, one of the keys to that play, and it happened at midfield when Kobe fought off a couple of defenders to maintain possession, Seamus, and then took it to the wing, and from there on, it was clear sailing for him.
Yep.
He might be small, but he is very, very strong. DeMello is taken down from behind. Sorber was right there and took him down from behind. And you see the first 4-goal game for the United States since October 8th of '95.
Well, it was against El Salvador.
And Guerra, 8, coming into the game. Hernandez, 2, will check out. So the foul by Sorber.
Guerra, of course, is an attacker. Hernandez is a defender. So the last roll of the dice here. But let's see if Diaz Arce is accurate.
Oh, off the wall. And solidly off the wall. Look at this! Over the top! What a dangerous play. That was 20, Sanabria.
And Tom Dooley again. As the whole defense tries to pull out, they allowed one player alone at the back. Look at this ball crushed into the wall. The defense starts to go out, but look at Tom Dooley get the deflection in there, because that was definitely goal bound.
And now the corner by El Salvador. DeMello, and Summer comes up with it. Cienfuegos took the corner. DeMello didn't get much on it, and here comes the United States. And Valencia sends it off. Kobe Jones and a throw in for El Salvador.
Paul Caligiuri that time just letting the ball run away from him.
Trapped by Masonoff off the chest. And sending it down the wing. Some beautiful action. McBride trying to get the shot. And García will come out and handle it.
Well, Kobe Jones, I think, having a word with McBride there, saying that was a give-and-go chance. I wanted that one back, and I think he has a point, because he had done all the good work on the approach, and he was open for the shot.
DeMello, ball cleared out by Peter Vermes. Now Sanabria, back to Cienfuegos.
What an amazing game this has been, Roger. 6 goals.
And chipped into the area, and Summer comes out. You know, we've seen a lot of terrific games.
And the
here in Foxborough through the years.
Foxborough magic continues to work for the U.S.
53,193 here today, and temperatures now down in the low 30s.
The New England fans have been the best fans in Major League Soccer, supporting the New England Revolution. It's a shame that the 3 Revolution players that are a part of the U.S. squad were not able to play today because they do have the 1 yellow card.
Dooley to Vermes.
Well, the gamble certainly has been worth it.
Now Harkes.
Sampson's gamble not to use too many players with yellows.
The battle. Harkes. And the foul called on El Salvador. Harkes has played his guts out today. He has put forth a supreme effort. The portion of today's game is brought to you by National Car Rental.
Well, look, there's a very revealing stat. 32 touches, 6 chances created, 2 shots, 1 goal, of course, and then he was instrumental in 2 other goals. Preki has answered the call. He has made it clear that he will be taking French lessons, I think.
Harkes sends it inside. Harkes looking for McBride. He hits the deck, no call.
Great back header, though, by McBride.
Well, El Salvador now languishing back on the defensive side, and the United States taking advantage. Masonoff off the head and a whistle.
Masonoff's made an impression when he's come in, though, Roger. And you like to see that kind of battling spirit. He went for that head ball against Guerra.
Brian Masonoff had 3 goals, 7 assists for the Columbus Crew. Native of Warren, Michigan. And Summer guarding the near side and had it well played as the shot taken by Raul Diaz-Arce.
Well, Peter Vermes was in the right spot, made the clearing header, except it wasn't clearing. He was headed right into the path of Diaz-Arce. You know, there have been some troubles at the center of the defense here. Dooley has been terrific. Peter Vermes had to struggle a little bit in the second half. And it reminds you of what the first line guys are like who are not here. Balboa, Lalas.
Well, this game, which means so much for El Salvador, but really for the United States, as we mentioned at the top, and Harkes took that in the back of the head, that the United States just playing this game really for pride and for some players to try to show their coach they're deserving of being on the World Cup team. And Seamus, as you look at how this game has developed, the big lead and then how they scored a couple goals and made it close, the U.S. comes back now with a 4-2 lead. There's been a lot of answers to a lot of questions, but I think the main thing you can look at is the effort put forth by this team today. If Sampson wants to call a blue-collar team, I think that's what we've seen.
Absolutely, and I think there have been some good learning experiences that even if you're up 3-0 against a team that would be dispirited, that the game is not over. And that was a very good lesson for them to learn. And very impressive that after a few minutes or so of lack of composure, they then rallied, set up chances, and eventually got the clinching goal.
Now there's a little give and go, Preki and Kobe Jones. Oh, Kobe, he's held. Yeah, now they're going to get the call.
He's been an absolute tormentor over there.
And a yellow.
A yellow card on number 7. Renderos.
That's Renderos.
Yep.
Kobe had him beat.
Kobe, again, a great change of pace, a little step over. Now watch the quick touch. He's away, he's off on his horses.
That was between his legs, too.
Renderos just says, I've had enough of this.
Kobe inside, headed out by Vićević of El Salvador. And we are under 2 minutes unofficially. We had some time when Harkes was down. That'll be added on. It was John Harkes, who looked like he wasn't going to get up. Was helped off the field.
Terrific work by Masonoff. I mean, like Kobe Jones in your picture, John Harkes. These 2 guys have really worked incredibly hard. It's been a great workmanlike effort. And, you know, sometimes hard work disguises skill. There's been a lot of skill in this team, too.
And Jamaica and Mexico still scoreless. And, of course, if things remained as it stands right now, Jamaica would be the 3rd team from this region to go to France. And what a celebration that would be, huh?
Absolutely. First Caribbean team since Haiti in '74.
Now the United States still pressing, still attacking. García comes out to make the saves, and Harkes was right there on the doorstep.
Well, John Harkes, you know, John Harkes has now got a yellow card, which is his 5th yellow card in qualifying, and that puts him into potential trouble for France 98, unless FIFA comes up with as I said, a kindly decision in December to forgive yellow cards carried to France.
So as the clock winds down here, the official time kept down on the field. The United States with a 4-2 lead after leading 3-0. Goals within a 3-minute span by El Salvador, one on a penalty kick and a yellow card being delivered, looked like to Valencia.
Oh, that was a nasty, nasty foul.
Brian McBride, the guy that got it started today, 2 early goals. There's the man Valencia got the yellow card.
This is what the yellow card is for. Yeah, 2-footed tackle coming in there. That's an absolute no-no. Can be very dangerous.
As Vićević gets ahead on it. And that's it. That is it. The United States has defeated El Salvador and their dream of possibly going to the World Cup with a convincing 4-2 victory here today in Foxborough before 53,000 plus. And we'll return after this message and a word from our ABC stations.